that I chucked. You don't have to use corn on the cob. You can actually use frozen corn, and you would use probably about 1 cup or so. And I'm going to be using yellow tomatoes, and you don't necessarily have to use yellow tomatoes. You can use red tomatoes. You can also use bell pepper. Bell pepper works real well also. And here I have 1/3 cup of golden flax seeds. Now, I do think you should have the golden flax seed instead of the brown, because you will not get that yellow look to it if you use the brown. I've done it before and I don't mind the browner chips, but this is going to be more like a real yellow chip. And I'm also going to use some Himalayan sea salt. So I'm going to be using my Vitamix. You can probably use a food processor, but I prefer on this kind of a recipe to use the Vitamix. So I'm going to throw in my corn, my yellow tomatoes, my yellow flaxseed. I also would suggest to always buy the flaxseed whole and grind it yourself. I grind it in a coffee grinder because it does tend to get very rancid if you don't. This is about a teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt. Laura, I don't know how you do all that. I would never want to do that. It's just so much work just for a little thing of chips. But the thing is, people, is that you feel so much better inside your body when you're eating this way. You're not eating all these chemicals that are in the foods and all the cooking and all the oils and all the garbage that's out there. This is so healthy. It's actually good for you to eat this way, and you can enjoy it too. And like I said earlier, at this time of year, it's in the fall, You know, people do get in the mood for maybe something with a little crunch or something a little bit comforting without the gut bomb and the bad feeling from eating the garbage. And you know, you can make trays of this. My dehydrator Excalibur has the 4 trays in it. I only did the 1 tray because that's all I eat at a time. I don't fill all the trays because I eat salads a lot of the times and stuff, and I don't eat corn chips all the time. But this is a delicious thing to have that does hit the spot sometimes. And the salsa, I just used tomato from my garden. They're the Tommy Toes, yellow and red tomatoes I mixed, and I know most of the time people don't have yellow tomatoes. That's just a very seasonal thing. Most of the time I just use the red tomatoes, but I used cilantro. I had another cob of corn left, so I put some corn in there. I always use lime, and I always use some garlic powder and some pink Himalayan sea salt, and basically that's it. I mean, it's very simple. I just stuck the tomatoes in the food processor, and I just chop all the other stuff. And I did put a cayenne pepper from my garden in here, which is kind of spicy, and I love spicy, so this is a treat for me. I'm just going to give one a try. Oh, that is absolutely, that's the best salsa I've ever made. That is so delicious. And I know this video is not about salsa. It's actually about corn chips, but how could you eat corn chips without salsa? So this is just so easy to do. I did this overnight. You know, it took probably about, I left it in about 8 hours. And then when I flipped it around, I probably left it in for another 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes, depending on where you live, you may want to leave it longer if you want it crunchier. This has enough crunch for me. And that's really all I do, is the 8 hours and then the additional 4 hours after that. And it really doesn't take a lot of time. It seems like a lot of work. And I know when people start a raw foods diet, some of these things could be overwhelming and seem like a lot of work, but when you're on raw foods for a while, you have all these ingredients and you're kind of ahead and know what to do, and it's just so simple. It's so worth it. It's just so worth the benefits. I feel so good on these foods. I've been on this for 5 years and I feel absolutely wonderful. And I'm so glad I made these corn chips because I can't wait to dig in and eat them. I'm reading is out of Psalms, and it's chapter 94, verse 9. And it says, "He who planted the ear shall he not hear. He who formed the eye shall he not see." So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful, blessed day.